28th of July 2022. Sergey Baklikov Live. Welcome back to my live streams. Welcome back to the city of Ufa, the capital of the Republic of Bashkortostan of Russia, and welcome in particular to the district which is called Zaton. Zaton, that's Russian word for backwaters, because literally this is the district which is like next to the backwaters of Belaya river, or the White River, the largest river in the Republic of Bashkortostan of Russia, and as a matter of fact in Ufa. Back in 1984 I was born and raised here. For the first 26 years of my life I lived here, and now still my parents are living in this district, and I'm gonna show you around. Well, Zaton is located like in the southwest from the center of Ufa. It's like in about 5-6 kilometers. You need to drive to the center of Ufa, and even still now actually there is like a huge gap between like the actual Ufa and Zaton, even though administratively Zaton is already for a long time a part of Ufa. But I remember how I was like raising here, and I was calling like Ufa the city, and Zaton was just a Zaton. Well, it's not a village, but it's more like a settlement. Well, we always, like when we need to go to the center of Ufa or any like other parts of Ufa, we always were just saying, let's go to the city. Because if you will look at the map, yeah, like really from Zaton to Ufa, there is where mostly the forest. But now look at that. So this is the entrance. This is the entrance to Zaton from the side of Ufa. And yet 2 years ago when I was filming here, we never saw any residential buildings on a horizon, and now look what a huge development there. You see the construction of the houses, and I believe that soon Zaton will be connected with Ufa, not only in terms of like in administratively, but physically with a big amount of residential buildings. This process is already started. You saw the guy was staying here. I think he was like wondering like why I film. Maybe I'm like something like film for road police or something, because you see here is such an intersection, and he was like making sure if I'm filming because he interrupts something. Okay, so look, lot of detail. As much as I remember myself, I mean like as much as I remember, always here was the auto repair, and this is car parts store, and this is the local fire department. You see 01, it's how you have to call in order to request the fire departments. Yeah, in the Soviet Union and still in Russia, now you need to call like 01 for fire departments, 02 for the police, 03 for the emergency, like medical emergency. But also now there's like the only phone. It's like 112 for all kinds of emergencies. So we're entering Zaton, the backwaters. This district was founded in the beginning of 20th century as the district for the workers of the White River Steamship, yes, steamship. I mean, like, it's the organization, the enterprise, like, all about shipping, steamship. It's like my grandmother, my mom, they used to work for that enterprise. My father was like the captain of the passenger cruise liners. I mean, like river cruisers. Let me show you how it looked like. You see this? This is the ship which is called the hero Alexander Golovachev. Back in the Soviet days, the traveling all around Russia by the rivers like Volga, Kama River, Oka River, that was a big thing. And I'm wondering why back in 1990s. Well, I know why. It's mostly just because of a hard times after the collapse of USSR. And now little by little, I think Russia is getting back to that. So in the Soviet days, it was like pretty amazing to travel. It was like pretty much developed to travel all around Russia by the ship, through Volga River, Oka River, Kama River. It's like the traveling with the stops in such towns like Kazan, Volgograd, Astrakhan, Moscow, and many more, Samara. And now little by little, it's getting back. Because if you remember now, Russia experienced the Renaissance, an amazing Renaissance. And let's say in 2020, they finally constructed the first like cruise ship, which is like in a category of river sea, so which can like ride as the river, as the sea, called Mustai Karim. They produced that in Nizhny Novgorod. It looks like this. We once saw this in one of my videos. We saw when it was in St. Petersburg. By the way, now it is signed to the ports of St. Petersburg. It's called Mustai Karim. Four level river ship, which is now cruising the rivers of Russia. And this is a really great thing, because you have no idea how beautiful the path through Volga, through Kama, Oka. Whoa, it's unbelievable. And it's great that now, little by little, it's getting reborn. The river cruise tourism is getting reborn. Okay, so here, already in the very entrance to Zaton, we can see some old private houses. But little by little, or developers or businessmen, business companies are buying them off, demolish them and construct or the residential buildings or the stores. Like, if you maybe remember, just a year ago, here we saw some buildings, some houses like this, which were demolished, and now this year we already can see a brand new store. It's Peterочка, one of the largest chains of the supermarkets, grocery supermarkets. Topor and X, it's like the tools store. Oasis Furniture, Lina Pizza takeaway and delivery. Bayram, this is a local chain of grocery supermarkets. Bayram, which means friendship in Bashkir language. Another tool store, it's called Все инструменты, which is literally all tools, all instruments, everything for house, dacha, construction and repair. And this is one of the oldest enterprises here. The reason why these districts got a life at all. This is судоремонтно-судостроительный завод, ship repair, ship building plant. You see, they repair and they construct the ships there. Look, the flag of Russia and flag of the Republic of Bashkortostan. We are in the Republic of Bashkortostan. Look at the flag of Russia. You see how beautiful it is. Wow, so beautiful. Can you see that? Can you see how beautiful is the flag of Russia? Well, the flag of Bashkortostan is beautiful too. But look at how especially beautiful the flag of Russia. Russia is a greatness and power, unbelievable depth and quintessential of a history, culture, architecture, literature, arts, music and science. Россия, Россия. This is one of the bus stops, one of the local bus stops. Master of wines, liquor store. Ladya, it's a car parts. Car parts on foreign cars and VAZ. Glav Pivtorg. It's a huge chain of beer stores. Glav, it's a main, piv for pivo, beer, torg trade, the main beer trade. They are mostly into top beers. You see, it's a beer store number 71. This is the territory of the municipal enterprise, which are like into the construction and cleaning and repair. One of the oldest residential buildings here in Zaton, Backwaters. Still a lot of them here. It's like, you know, such a wooden barrack, multi-flat wooden barrack. Little by little, they demolish them all, and on the place of them, they construct a huge residential buildings like this. Look here, actually, next to this residential building, there was like more, like maybe 3 more. They were staying next to each other. The developer demolished them, and now you see constructed this huge, like 10 floor multi-hallways building. Huge building. There goes the construction of another new building. Look, it seems like somebody just purchased the sites with the private house, you see, and they started demolishing it. They demolished the house and now gonna construct something else. Like, for example, there was the house, the private house, but now there's the company called Fifth Wheel. That's where they change the tires, change and repair the tires. Santech sanitary techniques store, notary. This is for rent. Everywhere, as you can hear, the idiots listening to the loud music in the car. Lorok, it's the medical analysis. After школа, it's after school. That's where you may come and study in order to get your driver's license. Everything for electro-montage. Бассейн для малышей. It's a swimming pool for babies. So, right now, I will show you where I was born and lived for the first 4 years of my life. For the first years of my life, before I moved to the next place in my life. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna show you now. So this is another barrack, just a old wooden multi-flat barrack. And this is another one. So my parents used to live in the wooden barrack like this. Look, this one is still staying here, waiting for its time to be demolished. But here, right in front of it, there was another barrack exactly like this. And that's where my parents lived and where I was born. But then, the enterprise where my parents worked, they are constructed, I mean, like the government, back in those days, in 1980s, it's still the government constructed all the residential buildings. So the government constructed the residential building exactly like this one. It's 9-storied, 7 hallways building for 256 apartments. Look, just like this, but only the next one in like maybe 300 meters from it. You see? And the government constructed that special for the workers of the White River Shipment Enterprise. And that's where my parents and my grandmother worked. So we've got an amazing 5-room apartment. I will show you that residential building. 5-room apartments. The apartments with a square of 100 meters. It's about 1,000 square feet. Amazing. Even now, the apartments with like 100 square meters or 1,000 square feet will be considered as like a great deal. So back then, my family got the apartment for free, and we moved there. But look, let me tell you something. So we've moved from exactly the house like this in 1988 to there, to like a really huge residential building. But you know, actually the house kept staying here yet for many years. Not long ago, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 13, 12 years ago, it was demolished. And they are constructed this building here. This one, look. And guess what? By the irony of fate, I mean, it's like just funny, but my parents, they sold an apartment there because my grandmother passed away. I moved to another apartment. I started to live in my own apartments. If you remember, in that pink building from the very first episode of Real Russia that I filmed in 2012. So already back then I lived like separately. And so also my brother lived separately, and so my parents were now needs the apartment, like 5-room apartments, okay? So they sold that, and guess what? They purchased 2-room apartments here in this residential building, exactly on the same place where they lived before. That's funny. And now we will go to Backwaters itself. We will see what is physically the Backwaters. The playground for kids. Now you will see what is physically, just physically, the Backwaters. Zaton. Yeah, still you see many old wooden buildings. Yeah, these buildings, which actually, the thing is, why these buildings are still here? Because in the Soviet days, the government, little by little, they were constructing the new residential houses, like high-rise residential buildings. And so they were giving people the apartments and they were demolishing them. Well, these are basically the people who, like, hadn't time, whose queue, I would say, whose queue just never came. Whose queue just never came before the USSR collapsed. And now, so it's like market economy. So now the government do not construct the apartments anymore, I mean the residential buildings anymore. It's now the commercial developers are making that. And well, who knows how long it will take for any developer to come here and to want to construct, let's say, the residential building exactly, let's say this, here or there. So now they just have to wait. They just have to wait. Okay, yet a year ago I used to show you here was the abandoned old music school. They demolished that and they are constructed the new school, the new amazing music school, which I will show you yet later. Yet 2 years ago I remember how I was taking you inside of abandoned kindergarten here. So my kindergarten, the kindergarten number 7, it used to be here. Now it's demolished, and pretty soon here will be, you know, just a residential building exactly like this one. It's also one of new residential buildings. So I'm now going to Backwaters. Literally the backwaters of Belaya River. There you will see a local little stadium, and also there you will see where in my young years I was pretty much into sports, into the kayaking, into the sport kayaking. I actually had the first youth category in kayaking. I was pretty big in kayaking back in 1990s, because every single day, twice a day, I was going. I was coming there to the section. And look, it wasn't just a section, it was like the official school, the children's sports school of the Olympic Reserve. So it was like pretty professional sports school. I'm Renny Ramnath. Hello. It's been a while I saw you. Welcome back and thank you for support to my channel. You always support my channel. Damn it. Thanks so much. Two residential buildings. Look, here lives Igor now. You remember Igor? One of my buddies. One of my buddies. So little by little, Zaton, Backwaters, my neighborhood, you see, little by little, all the old buildings are getting replaced with the new developments. Here they have the concept, the yards without the cars. So here is like literally like fenced yards where the cars are allowed to get inside only for like loading or unloading something. They can enter here for only like 30 minutes, okay? And then they will be asked to leave. You see, like now, that guy is staying there, but you can't park here for nights. Well, they have like parking here. They have the parking here. Oh, by the way, this is Igor's car, Renault Logan. They have the parking here. By the way, this residential building, those apartments who are having windows there, whoa, an amazing view. Actually, you know, Zaton is pretty much beautiful from the height. Let me show you some photographs. This is the photographs I was making with my drone. You see? So Backwaters, you see, like a little bit right from the center, you can see the river. Well, this is the backwaters of the White River. Now that's exactly where we are. You see these two residential buildings? That's exactly where we are. And you can see like a little bit left from the center, there's the ship building and ship repair plants we just went through not long ago. So that's it. On this photo, you can see a little bit more left from the center. That's where from I've started. This is the entrance to Zaton from Ufa. Ufa is far on the background. You see? And so I was going like, I was going deeper and now turn to, if to look at the picture to the right, and I'm going to Backwaters itself. Anastasia, thank you so much. IVZ, this is real Russia, no fake, no bullshit. IVZ, Anastasia, thank you big time. So I'm now going to Backwaters. So the local stadium, the local little stadium is here. That's where the children, mostly like the boys, can learn to play football. Yeah, it's like section. I see the guys here all the time, which is great. Nice football field. And this is the parking for those who came to swim. You see, so many cars, they parked here because right now many people are swimming, because there's also the beaches. There's the beaches. Yeah, I remember I used to swim a lot. I used to swim a lot here in the backwaters. Some cars are allowed to get on territory, but most people can't because the entrance is closed. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the backwaters of the White River. I think I need to find, I think I need to talk with one of those guys, maybe like on the boat like that, or that boat, to give some money. They will give us the ride. Well, not now though. And look at that barge. There's so much about my life and this barge, because inside of this barge there are all the kayaks and canoe. Well, some guys, mostly the shorter guys, I'm talking about the heights, the shorter guys, they were into canoes. So they were staying like with one of their knee, and so that's how they were, you know, rowing, how to say this, and the taller guys were into the kayaks. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about exactly about these kind of kayaks. I was pretty much into the kayaking on the kayaks like this. It's a single kayak. I was into the single kayaking, and I participated in many tournaments, and I even got the first youth category. Rowing, yeah. And even right now we can see those guys, you see. Yeah, this school is still exists here, and I was pretty much surprised when if you remember 2 years ago, I was like getting rides to the barge, and I was surprised to see that's one of 3 coaches who used to work here back in 1990s. One of them, Alek Raisevich, still there. Maybe he is still, maybe even and now 2 years after, he is still there, because yeah, it's like the official state school, and so it's like, you know, it's supported with the government. It's supported with the government. Yeah, inside of this barge, they're all the kayaks. And these are some tow ships, the river tow ships. Yeah, and there, if we will go further, there is the beach. You see, people are swimming there right now, because finally the water is pretty warm. It's like no real rains already for a month. There is actually like 2 beaches. One beach we can see from here now. Yeah, I remember how every single day, in the morning at 9 a.m. and in the evening at 5 p.m. for 2 hours. I was rowing and rowing and rowing. So like from here to like behind the horizon, there's a dam. There's a dam until dam and back. And my trainer, he was on the motorboat. He was with like megaphone. He was like shouting all the time just on us. It was easy for him just to shout on us like faster, faster, and to give the instruction like how to keep the body, how to keep the hands, how to keep the legs and stuff like that. So it's like it was easy for him because he was just riding the motorboat, okay? But we had to row with our hands, okay? Yeah, but those were the days. Those were the days. Look, it seems like this is now, yeah, it's like also like the official school. Look, it's as shore means the sports school of the Olympic Reserve, the Academy of Football, and also the Spartak. I'm not sure what Spartak makes here because Spartak school, it's like a Moscow school, but well, why not? Why not? So the trainings goes here all the time, all the time. Only like late at nights, people may come in here for just like a, how to say, like free play. But most of time, it's busy with the official trainings of the sports schools here. The School of the Olympic Reserve, the Academy of Football, and the Spartak School. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see the Spartak School here because, well, Spartak School, it's the Moscow school. By the way, here is like all along the backwaters. Here is an amazing bicycle lane, and people really love to ride the bicycles here. They really love it. Yeah, now it brings back memories. But anyway, I feel like this was like almost in another life, because after living here for 26 years, however, for 8 years then I lived in the center of Ufa, and already for more than 4 years I'm living in the center of St. Petersburg. And feel like it was so long ago, but always great to get back and to bring back memories, because it's mostly like related to my childhood, and no matter how weird 1990s were in Russia after the collapse of USSR, I recall my childhood as a very carefree time. Well, I was into kayaking. I was here into a very carefree life. I just enjoyed my time here. Okay, let's get back to the districts, to the neighborhoods. I will show you more. I will show you where I used to study, my school. Then I'm gonna show you where I lived most of time here, because I was born in 1984. For 4 years I lived in a such a multi-flats 2-storied wooden barrack. I used to show you the one like that. But then after the government constructed that huge residential building, my family got an apartment from the government, 100 square meters, which is about 1,000 square feet, 5-room apartments. Because my grandmother, my mother's mother, my mother, my father, they all worked for the White River shipping company. And what about exactly my grandmother? She was an honored worker. When my grandmother retired, the entire work experience was 44 years non-stop. She worked for 44 years non-stop in the same enterprise, and she was pretty much honored. Like every year she was getting a free vacation in in the south of Russia, in Sochi, Crimea, everywhere. Yeah, it's interesting that my grandmother remember the vacationing in Crimea before 1954, when Khrushchev joined Crimea to Ukrainian Republic of the Soviet Union. So just a house like this, about like this, that's where my family used to live. In 1988, they got the apartments, huge apartment from the government. The government constructed that special for the workers of the White River shipping enterprise. And it was here, as I already told you, by the irony of fate, now my mom living here again, but already in the new residential building constructed on the place where their old apartment was. It is now my mom on the balcony. Hi, Mom. You see? Well, they got an apartment here because after my grandmother passed away, after I already started to live in my own apartments with my family, with my wife and daughter, and same about my brother, so they stopped to be in no need of such a huge apartment, so they sold it and purchased a smaller one, actually 2 smaller apartments. And this is also another irony of faith. This is like a concert hall of the Ufa State River College. Now it's called different, but it's River College. My father was born in 1957 in the town of Kumirtau. It's also the Republic of Bashkortostan, but it's like almost 300 kilometers from here. Last year I was taking you there. It's a little town with only 60,000 residents, and that's the town of coal miners and helicopter constructors. They are constructing the helicopters there in Kumirtau. By the way, that Kumirtau enterprise, which is making the helicopters, is under sanctions of the United States government. Okay, so my father from that little town came to like the capital, and so he started to study here because he wanted to be into the river cruise industry. So that's where he got the education that allowed him then to become the captain of river cruise ships. And so look, also in the same time my father was playing. So what about the concert hall here? My father, while he was a student of this college, he also was the musician, guitarist, and a singer in the bands, in the like college bands. And so they performed here. My mom, she was not studying here, but she lives next door, and so she was coming for the concert here. That's how they met, okay? And look at these awesome mosaics. Okay, now it's called Volga State University of the Water Transport, but in my father's days it was called just Ufa State River College. And so now literally, my parents are living in between of the place where they lived in the Soviet years and the place where they met. And here is now the memorial mural to Arseniy Vorobyov, who recently died fighting for freedom of Donbas people. He studied here in Volga State University of Water Transportation. And he came to Donbas to fight against the Nazis, but he was murdered there. And also in memory of him, here is such a mural. So look, right next to the college itself, there's a dormitory. My father lived there in the dormitory. This is a dormitory. How to understand this is most probably the dormitory? Well, it looks like residential place, but there's no balconies. Usually the dormitories have no balconies. Here is the school number 4 where I studied. It's one of 3 schools I studied in my district, because from 2 of these 3 schools I've been kicked off. I've been kicked off for my awful behavior. Yeah, I was a like a great student. I mean, in terms of like how I studied, but I had an awful behavior, and they had a hard time to do something with me. So they kicked me off from here, and I live there. Look, so this is where my family moved in 1988 when they got the 5-room apartment from the government. Let me show you. Okay, so this is school number 4, the historical building of school number 4 where I studied. It's a very small school. I studied here. Now this is more like just a the house of children's creativity, because it is stopped existing as the school. After, right next to this school, they are constructed the new one, the new huge one. So now this is school number 4. And here is now just the place where the children may coming for so-called additional education. Pamela Piszczek, hello, and thank you very much for your super chats. Thank you for, regular support. So this is the new school. Well, I never studied here because it was constructed already after I finished school. So from school number 4, I was kicked off for a weird behavior, and I had to go to another school, school number 46, and I was kicked off for a weird behavior there as well. And after all, I got to the school number 128, like 128, and that's where already I finished the school. So literally I studied in all 3 schools of my district. Well, here, but here actually 4 schools. But the 4th school, it's a special school, so-called boarding school. It's a sports school. It's the school for sportsmen who are staying there 24/7, 5 days a week, and leaving home only for a weekend. That's for sportsmen. It's boarding school number 5, the sports school. So so I wasn't studied there. So school number 4. Okay, here goes the renovation of the yard. You see, these days, no matter where we are, we see how the government program of the renovation of public spaces, squares, parks, and the yards are working. It's working big time. So they are working. Working on the renovation. Behind these buildings there is the boiler and an old graveyard. It's called an old Zaton graveyard. Well, I think I'm not going to show that to you because we're going to lose like 20 minutes of time. But there's just a boiler, the boiler and the old graveyard. I used to show that last year. You can just watch it there. Well, yes, so here is the boiler, several boilers around, because here all these residential buildings, well, in Russia, most of the residential buildings having so-called central heating. What does it mean? It means that all the apartments connected with each other through the pipes, and all the water that's circulating inside of those pipes, that water is getting heated in the boilers, huge boilers around. The system of central heating. That's where they heat the water, literally. And that's how people are getting hot water in their radiators for heating. And that's how they are getting hot water in the on tap, if I can say so, on the crane. Okay, so now I will show you where I used to live. Where I used to live for how much? Like 22 years of my life. Well, there's like a boiler. It is also the building where inside there's the boiler. It just boils the water for all the buildings around. Meanwhile, here is still kind of huge private sector. It's like the neighborhoods with mostly private houses. A lot of like really old wooden houses, but some people, you know, like they demolish their old houses and construct the new ones, like this one. I remember here was an old house, but now, or they are themselves just constructed the new house, or, you know, many people just buying those houses with the land, okay? And so, because look, actually this is a really great district in terms of like being only 15 minutes a ride from the historical city center of Ufa, or even administrative city center of Ufa. But in the city of Ufa itself, there's no chance to construct the private house. The land is very expensive. But here it's only like 15 minutes drive, and yeah, you have a chance to buy the land here and construct the house and to live in your private house 24/7. Yeah, that's, by the way, where they sell the alcohol after 10 p.m. And they are not asking the questions. They are not asking the questions. They don't care. Even if it's well, technically it's illegal. Here was the library. Now they constructed the library in another place, and this also will soon go under the development. Well, a lot of developments these days in Backwaters. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you my apartments. That's where so far I lived most of my life. So in 1988, the Soviet government constructed these residential buildings. 9-storied, 7-hallways residential buildings. 4 apartments on every floor, so it's 256 apartments here. On every floor there's 5-room apartments, 1-room apartments, 2-room apartments, and 3-room apartments. But look, if it's the hallway, which is not on the corner, there is no 5-room apartments. The 5-room apartments only in, it's just because of some specifics, you know. So the 5-room apartment may be only on the corner, so in the hallway number 1 and hallway number 7. And so this is on the 3rd floor. You see, this was like my apartments. This was my room. Well, all this, these 2 windows, the balcony, 2 windows here, a little balcony there, and yet 1 more window from that side. That all was the apartment of my family. 5-room apartments, 100 square meters, which is about 1,000 square feet. Yeah, my family got it. My family got it from the Soviet governments because they all worked for the White River shipping company, shipping enterprise. And my grandmother was an honored worker. 44 years of working experience, non-stop, non-stop. You see, this is my balcony, and these two windows also was my windows. Okay, welcome back to my childhood. Hello, my motherland's yard. Oh, damn it. Nah, those were the days. I see they've made the renovation here. I mean, like, they literally extended the roads in order to get the space for parking lots for the cars. Okay. Okay, the playground for kids. The playgrounds. Well, the playground was kind of different. In my childhood days, this is renovated one. The renovated one. So here, as I said, in this smaller building, the boiler and the police station, the local police station. I mean, if something happens in these neighborhoods, you go to report to the police here. So you see such a 9-storied, 7 hallways residential building constructed in 1988. In each hallway, 9 floors, on every floor 4 apartments. So 256 apartments in this residential building. Mostly, well, historically here lived only the workers of the White River Shipping Enterprise, because all the apartments were given to the workers. And this used to be the public bathhouse. Look, the public bathhouse. Now it's more like just you know, it's just like all given for different companies. Now it's more like just some kind of business center. The thing is, back in the days, like people were really needs the public bathhouse, not anymore. This is a dormitory. Okay, so I told you that these days, the development goes everywhere. And you see, little by little, they demolish the old 2-storied houses and start constructing the new residential buildings. Okay, I got back to the main street. The central street that goes through the whole neighborhood is called Akhmetov Street. The office of Ural-Siberian Bank, the biggest bank of the region, Ural-Sib Bank. And this is the next school, school number 46. It's the second school where I studied, but I also was kicked off from here for a bad behavior. Yeah, I was an excellent student in terms of my marks, but I had an awful behavior. Yeah, sometimes I still have an awful behavior. That's why sometimes to some of you I'm saying that you are the motherfuckers, especially when you fucking assholes start triggering me. You hear me? Yeah, dudes. So this is one of the examples of like there also like was the whole private neighborhoods. I mean like the neighborhoods with only private houses, such as wooden houses. Now there's a huge like buildings, residential buildings. This is one of typical 1960s Soviet school projects. When, yes, my mom studied here, and when she studied here, it was like a brand new school. Well, you saw many underpasses, and this is upper pass, such a pedestrian bridge. It's the bridge in order to cross the street here. Not too comfortable for babushkas. For a long time, it used to be the tallest building in Zaton, 13-storied building. I remember, yes, for a long time there was a sign, Miru Mir, peace to the world. As long as I remember myself, this always was a car parts store, and it is still the car parts store. So look, this residential building, you see it's already like abandoned. Yeah, now here goes the process of like resettling all the residents. Soon here will be started a very massive construction. And these are some of Khrushchev 1960s residential buildings in Backwaters. Gazprom. This is one of local, regional Gazprom companies. And this is the gate to the kindergarten where my mom still works. My mom still works in this kindergarten. Typical Soviet kindergarten with playgrounds all around the kindergarten. How long are you going to be in Ufa, Sergey? Marsha is asking me. Not far too long. I think maybe 1 more week, and that's it. That's it. Oh, Fon Michel, look, I enjoy your streams, and please don't let the bad people upset you. They aren't worthy of your time. Yes, that's what I'm making. Actually, mostly, I don't pay any attention, because if sometimes yes, but mostly not. If I would pay like more attention, then I probably would be already look like an old man. Thank you very much for super chat. Okay, so local 1960s Khrushchev residential buildings. And there's the markets, local markets, and local mall. Yeah, so the whole this district, little by little, they resettle all the people from here. The developer came, and the developer pretty much interested in this land because it's a really great land. It's like the place for the construction along the central roads of Zaton. Yeah, 2 years ago when I was taking you here, all the streets was filled in with the buildings like this. Now you see they are making already commercial stuff here. Tsvetkov, it's like the flower shop. Bridge and Tuner Scooter Club, love and real life tours. Love the real life tours. Thanks so much. So you see here also, I don't know what is this. It's going to be like some kind of like market. Watermelons. You know, here in Russia people love the watermelons. Here they are constructed the little hotel. Okay, so this is the market. It's like indoor part of the market where they sell like clothes, where is the Megaphone, MTS, Beeline office, where they sell the mobile phones, the bakery, coffee shops. But inside there's like more like an old school market where they sell meat, vegetables, fruits, nuts. It's called Zarechny market. Zarechny, it's behind the river, which is literally so. And this is a new mall. They are constructed just a year ago. It's the mall called Zaton. Well, it's called Backwater. VTB Bank, Fujiyama Sushi, Bread and Coffee shop, DNS, the largest chain of electronic stores in Russia, came here. Lombard, it's pawn shop. Oh, shawarma, St. Petersburg style, shawarma по-питерски. You remember, right? You remember only in St. Petersburg shawarma is shawarma. And only in St. Petersburg shawarma is shawarma. Everywhere else in Russia, it's called shawarma. But you see here, it's like, you know, hello from St. Petersburg to us. Shawarma по-питерски, what means by Petersburg style. Optics, drugstore, flowers. It's a brand new mall here. Brand new mall. Like two-storied brand new mall. Well, it's already like about to be closed. Пятерочка, пятерочка. One of the largest chains of the grocery supermarkets. The world of electronics. Drugstore. Optics. Division, that's where you can buy the mobile phone, stuff like that. Tobacco mall, vapes, electronic cigarettes. And here is the local park. Wow, they have made the renovation in that park. It's a local park of Zaton. Wow, in my days, back in 1990s, I mean, it was just like, you know, just half-abandoned park. Half-abandoned park. I mean, everything was abandoned there. But now, whoa, whoa. In a good way, I'm jealous. I'm jealous to those guys who are living here now and having the park like this. I will show you now. Another example of how the renovation government program works in Russia. Little by little, everywhere happens the Renaissance. The park called Volna, the wave. Yes, because actually this is the districts of river workers, river industry workers, river shipping workers. Coffee Express. Okay, this is the entrance, the central entrance to the park. Oh, electric vehicles, rentals for kids, scooters. Okay, so this is the entrance to Park Volna, the wave. Okay, let's get started. Look, this is just a pedestrian sidewalk tile. In my days, here was just an asphalt, which is what, you know, such like, you know, like waving asphalt with a lot of cracks, you know. Ты нет. Well, so here was like a lot of cracks. Now it's amazing tile, many benches, a lot of flower compositions. Just look at this. They cut the lawn. I mean, look, in my days, Flower compositions in Volna Park? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No way. There's the monument to the paratroops soldiers. BTR. This is the military monument to paratroopers. Look, wow. In my days, по Затону хожу, показываю Затон.
Нет, на чем?
Это YouTube.
Ага.
YouTube.
А канал?
Ну набери там просто Zaton по-английски, Zaton Live. По-английски, Zaton Live.
Лайв через F или через V?
Через V.
Ага.
И там фильтр поставь прямые трансляции, он сразу найдет. Вот поставишь фильтр прямые трансляции, он сразу найдет.
Хорошо.
Okay. So look, when I was the boy and when I was hanging out here was the stage, but it was like abandoned stage. Nothing like this, and never ever performed. Now here is the new stage, music equipment, the benches, and you see, it's the renaissance of this park. I never saw so many people, because there wasn't any reason for so many people to be here. It's a complete renaissance. You have no idea what it used to be and what it is now. Of course, in my days, here wasn't the roads which was separated for bicycles and for just like walkers. In my days, here wasn't anything like this. Was nothing like a pier. Here was this lake, but it was more like a swamp. I mean, it was literally swamp. Now, they cleaned it up. They dried it up, cleaned it up, and that's it. Now it's amazing. Whoa. Wow, you have no idea how happy I am to see now what happens here. This park was only so-called park back in 1990s, even in the beginning of 2000s. Now, this is the park for which it is not shame. That's the area for skateboarders, the skateboarding ramps and stuff like that. I'm telling you, this is Renaissance. The government program works. Yeah, in my childhood, this park was only pathetic reminder about the great Soviet days and what's left out of all those days. Now, it is totally renovated and immediately got the second life. It is alive again. Whoa.
и хотим видеть тебя тоже на Судоремонтной 27 в нашем Доме культуры и покорять эту сцену по праздникам. Так, если тебе интересно наше предложение, это абсолютно бесплатно. Можешь подойти к нашему антиквариату и обменяться контактами, да, телефонами. Ну, а сейчас уже хотелось бы завершить этой прекрасной песней, но у нас есть молодые люди, которые горят желанием тоже похвастаться своими вокальными данными. Ну что ж, удовлетворим наших молодых людей и послушаем их исполнение следующей песни. Надеюсь, на завершение нашего вечера караоке сегодня это будет прекрасная песня и прекрасное исполнение, и мы об этом не пожалеем. Правда, ребят? Ну что, дадим возможность ребятам спеть? Ну все, держите.
Ренессанс. Ренессанс.
Раз. Достигли меня феромоны души, я нашел ту, которая заставила жить. Прости за минуты не так.
Okay, let's keep moving. The workout area. The boats, so-called catamarans. It's the boats with pedals that you need rolling. That is always a nice, here is also nice area with just the benches, just such a square around nice flowers. Wasn't anything like this here at all in my childhood. I also don't remember, I mean, I remember for sure there wasn't anything like in terms of basketball fields. I remember here was like just a old school Soviet amusement park. Now here is the sport area. Okay. The toilets. The public toilets, WC. The red is busy, but the green is vacant. And look, this is the lake. Also was more like swamp on it. They are making it wider. This is so cool. Dudes, this is so cool. The shallow sands. So maybe they want to make just a nice bottom. They want to make the sand bottom, I guess. A huge playground. The playground and the park. Workout area. It's right behind the stage. You see, Renaissance. Yep, back in the days of my childhood, here wasn't any flower compositions. Wow. Right. Россия. The government program works. No matter where I go these days, and for the last 3 summers it was like 70 cities and towns, everywhere goes the renovations. This is the Renaissance of Russia. Renaissance. Okay. Meanwhile, let me to show you some of the examples of what what they construct instead of the old wooden residential barracks here. There on the background we can see the new residential buildings. I'm actually not a big lover of high-rise buildings, but it is what it is. Actually, my only complaint to most of the neighborhoods with the high-rise buildings here in Russia is that they usually don't have enough of parking lots. Okay, but little by little the government works in this direction. It's like the conditions for the developers like getting tough in the right direction all the time. And I think that soon they will not be able to construct a high-rise building without having enough of parking lots projected. You remember in the beginning of my stream, I used to show you the place where was the old music school. It was also made of like the woods, very old school. Yeah, I mean literally old school, old music school. And I told you that they reconstructed the new one. It is there. I told you that, yet I will show it to you. So now I will show it to you. New, amazing, totally new music school. In the old school, which is right next to where I used to live, when I was a boy, I remember I was coming there for concerts and I was listening to the best masterpieces of Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, Shostakovich, Prokofiev, Igor Stravinsky, Scriabin, and more. So in Zaton here is still, we can find many private sectors. It's like the sectors, the neighborhoods with the private buildings. Here is the hospital, one of the hospitals of Ufa. And do you remember I told you some earlier about the boarding school? The boarding school in my district, it's the school for kids who are pretty much into sports. The professional sportsman. The boarding school, it's the school where they stay 24/7, 5 days a week. So it's here. Because most of the time they are into sports. There on the backyards there's a huge sport complex and they were into sports. However, they were need to study, like getting the general education So they were getting the general education, but most of the time they were into the sports, and they were leaving home only for Saturday and Sunday. Well, still the same, I guess. So this is the new music school. They are constructed it after they demolished the old one. Yeah, that old one was weird already. I mean, like about 100 years old. And this one is amazing, just amazing. Whoa. You see that? And the new residential complex. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is another hospital. What's another hospital? It used to be the hospital. Well, initially it used to be the hospital for the workers of the railways, like the local railroad workers. Another new building here. Hi, dude.
Блогер,
Ну, типа того,
этот, как его называется? Стример, да?
Да, стрим на YouTube. Он называется Баклыков Live, потому что я Баклыков. А Live, ну, типа стримы от Баклыкова. На
Всем
YouTube.
привет, я на телеке.
Окей, bye, dudes. Баклыков. Баклыков. So more of the buildings, more of new developments. So this is what grows up on a place of all those old residential buildings. Yes, urbanization. Full time. And now I'm gonna show you the last school where I studied. If you remember, I told you that I studied in 3 schools here in my district, because from 2 of them I've been kicked off for an awful behavior. Yeah, I was a great student. You remember I told you that I always was thinking that I need to study well if when I will grow up I don't want to clean the toilets. So I studied well, but the behavior was awful. Hi, hi man. Hi. And this is also the hospital, look. But but you know what? But this is the city hospital of the, like, I'm not sure how you call it, but literally in Russian language it sounds like the skin and venereology dispenser. So it's like the hospital mostly for those who are into disordered sexual life. And you see, this is the residential building where my cousin Catherine living with her kids and family. Catherine, you remember? Yoga coach. That's where she's living. Yet, like 6 years ago, none of these residential buildings were here. And now here, this is where for a long time used to be the best nightclub in Ufa. It was called Chasha. Well, actually Chasha means the cup, but it just was like Cha, the first two letters of one founder, and Sha, the first two letters of the name of the second founder. Wow, that was the club, like really great club. It like was the real club. It's not just what the clubs are now. Just like, you know, just the clubs for people to have a great time and just to bring maximum of money. But then, as far as I know, they sold their soul to the financial devil. They just sold this property to Peterочка. And Peterочка is the one of the largest chains of grocery supermarkets. Look, so that's it. In order for you to understand how great was this club, let me tell you that here performed John Digweed and Sasha and Hernan Catania. Yeah, right here in the Backwaters enjoyed Hernan Catania, which is the most famous DJ of Argentina. John Digweed is one of the best DJs. He is like from top 10 DJs of the world living in England. Same about Sasha. So this is like really like one of the most epic places in Ufa. And this is Magnet. Magnet always goes, they always go together. Peterочка and Magnet, two the biggest chains of the grocery supermarkets. And actually this area used to be called the military town, военный городок, the military town, because back in the beginning of 1990s it was constructed exceptionally for the military man, because here was the military base and here was the helicopter school, and that's why this street is called Летчиков, the pilot street. Now, no military base here anymore. Now here is like it's mostly given to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. It's mostly like all about the police, but historically it was the military town right next to one of the military bases in Russia, where they prepares the helicopter pilots. That's why this central street called Летчиков, Pilot Street. And this is so-called garage cooperative, actually the garage community. It's just like all area given just for the garages. And these are so-called capital garages, the garages which are having heating, electricity, and I think all of them having such a, basements, how you call them, cellars, to store, pickles, potatoes, or something like that. And there's the school number 128. That's the school where I studied after I was kicked off, and not the first two ones, for my bad behavior. Hairdressing salon, not kindergarten. And next to the kindergarten, Stefano B. Thank you for joining membership. Yeah, pretty much appreciate it. And pretty much important and helpful for producing the new contents from all over Russia. Well, the school number 128. Yeah, babes. So this is my school, 128. Bring back memories. Whoa. Рахим и Тегес, добро пожаловать, welcome. Meanwhile, here is the new developments. I remember how my school and this residential building was like the like literally the very last buildings in Ufa, at least from this side of Ufa. Now it has started growing up pretty much. The developments here now goes, I mean, it went so far. The school garden. Okay, and look how many residential buildings they are constructed now. Ufa started moving further and further. It is now getting connected with the village called Milovka. The power plant, the local power plant, so there is now growing up the whole huge neighborhoods, the new, totally new neighborhoods. Hello, Barb Filer. And here I'm actually got to the highway. It's a federal highway, M7. M7, also known as Volga Highway. You know, Ufa is the only city in Russia where is the intersection of two federal highways, M5 and M7. Well, M7 goes there. We don't see it from here, but it goes there. M7. Kazan. 540 kilometers straight forward. молодец. Россия. So there's unstoppable development started. It's like Ufa goes with its developments to the southeast. Lana S. Hi Sergey, thank you for the stream. Lana, thank you too. Thank you for support and thank you for watching. Big time. Big time. Yeah, Ufa develops all the time. It's constantly growing population in Ufa. Recently, Ufa is 9th largest city of Russia. And about 1 kilometer from here, there is the largest graveyard of Ufa called Yuzhne, the southern graveyard. I once was there and I used to show you the mass grave of the kids from Ufa.
У вас трансляции прям каждый день или нет?
Почти каждый день.
Нет. Как вам объяснить? Короче, я гомосексуалист.
Ничего себе. Очень хорошо.
У вас там, я вижу, русский даже смотрят.
Да.
А что, а дорого это оборудование стоит?
Это 15 тысяч. Это где-то, я не знаю.
А это больше сотки?
Ну, не знаю, по-моему, где-то 70 он сейчас стоит.
Ладно, до свидания. Я
Давай, bye, man. This guy is a joker. He is actually like pursued me, if you remember, from the park, and or he is like saying bad words when he is like riding next to me, or now he is just saying that he is homosexual. But I believe he is just like having fun. He just like wants to be like fun, like some kind of joker. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I actually went through the whole backwaters, like from the very entrance, if you remember, to like the very ends. And this is not only the border of backwaters district, Zaton, but even like the southwestern border of Ufa. I hope you enjoy it. You see, you're often asking me to show something like something more in the outskirts. So finally, I show you the outskirts. But you know, even though, like many people tell me that you want to see the outskirts, however, more people are watching when I show like the downtowns. So why is that? Why is that? Look, so now here we can see the border of Ufa. I mean, like literally this sign means that the administrative border of Ufa starts here. Ufa, it's in Russian language, Ufa, and Bashkir language. So tell me, why the hell you're asking me to show the outskirts, but every time I show you the outskirts or more provincial towns, you watch it less than Moscow and St. Petersburg. And look, there's another sign, Ufa is over. I'm literally on the border. I'm literally on the border of Ufa. Can you show underskirts? Yeah, that would be wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna lose my. Actually, the algorithms of YouTube are weird. I remember how once I was filming in Toftimanovo village on dacha. It was like 3 years ago, and I mean, we were in our pants. I, Timur, my brother-in-law, and my father-in-law, and I placed the camera on the table in front of bathhouse. There's such a bench in the bathhouse, and we sat down all together. And YouTube stopped this because the algorithms considers it is maybe a porn content. It's just because it's was too much of skin in the frame. Okay, so that's weird. And if to show the underskirts, somebody just can complain. And if the mods will check it out and it will be truth, yeah, no way. Ufa ends here. I see the girls love walking with the dogs here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergey Baklikov. This is Baklikov Live. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live stream from the outskirts and from my true motherlands. This is the district where I was born and raised. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Well, tomorrow Friday night. I think I'm gonna stream just from the downtown of Ufa. Yeah, that's where people having maximum of fun. Bye. Traditional panorama and the ends. Omreni Ramnath, Stefana B, Brian Filer, Barb Filer, Solo 19. Oh, I scared the girl. I now scared the girl. I mean, like, it was sound weird, like Brian Filer, Barb Filer, and this girl got scared. Nikolai Garbuts, Ron Holes, Victorious Freestyle, Dave O.P., Brian Hollands, Solo 19, Danger, Rus, Художество художника, Alex Gordon, Danny, Dwayne Dietz, Mark White, Rob, Kick Jack, Winnie the Pooh, Lily Pop, Sonia Alborezi, Scott Wheeler, Marsha. Bukhanka, Oas, Forget a One. You guys never forget to subscribe if you're not yet. Never forget to like if you're not yet. Never forget to join membership. And welcome back tomorrow. Cora Bernades, Paul Denino. Yeah, glory to Russia. Okay, from Zaton, Backwaters, from Ufa, from the edge of Ufa in the southwest, from Baklikov Live, from Russia, with love and peace.